There's been a whole lot of talk recently about the annual performance appraisal. It's back in the spotlight again. We're hearing from research from people saying that these performance appraisals are causing employees undue stress. We're hearing that they're not working. We're hearing that companies like GE, Accenture, Adobe and the like and others have dumped their annual performance appraisal process, saying that it's just not working. Now, I get why. I think we've all been there. We've all been in that awkward performance review, that awkward annual appraisal where we're sitting there, we're trying to go through the process as best we can. The manager's trying to follow the script, but it just feels unnatural. We're not even sure that the performance measures are right, and it's just straight out awkward. I think we've all been there. So I get why we're having this conversation. I'm just a little concerned that we're taking aim at the wrong thing. By taking aim purely at the performance appraisal, I'm concerned that we're missing the point. Why do I think this? Well, data from Human Synergistics released late last year tells us some really interesting things about organisations that do the appraisal process well and that do their appraisal and reinforcement practices with a real degree of excellence. Here's the sort of thing that the data tells us. The data tells us that when appraisals are considered fair, now when we mean fair, there's no playing favourites, there's no favouritism, there's no gender bias, things like race, creed, religion, all of those things are not coming into play. And so when they're not there, and then appraisals are based on real measures of performance, that's when they're considered fair. So number one was when they're fair. Number two is when the appraisal and reinforcement process involves some kind of genuine reward for doing a really good job or for going the extra mile. Now this can be as simple as the manager actually notices when I do something right and they speak up and they tell me, they give me some kind of praise or some kind of affirmation. But also, my pay is taken into account. So it's not the sort of situation where I work really hard and I get a 2% increase. The lazy guy next to me does barely enough to just not get fired and he gets the same 2% increase. So when appraisals are fair, when I'm rewarded for doing a good job, so my pay is taken into account, my manager notices and recognises when I do a good job. And the third thing is when I'm not punished for making mistakes or doing the wrong thing. In other words, I'm not openly criticised. I'm not given less desirable work as a subtle, more covert form of punishment. And in the process, I'm actually helped to learn from the experience or to solve the problem. Okay? So when appraisals are fair, when there's appropriate reward, and when I'm not punished for doing the wrong thing, that's when the appraisal and reinforcement system is considered to be fair. Now here's the outcomes from that. In Human Synergistics data set, the organisations that were at the top of the tree in terms of doing fairness, doing the reward and the not punishment thing, here was the outcomes. Those organisations that did it well had 36% higher motivation, they had 26% higher satisfaction, they had 18% higher intention to stay, and they were 22% less stressed. And this is as reported by the staff members themselves. So what's the key here? I want to suggest the key here is that performance appraisal stuff isn't failing everywhere. So someone must be doing something right. But if the appraisal process isn't going right, obviously something's going wrong. And my belief is we need to take aim at the right thing. And I think we're going to miss it by just aiming at the performance appraisal process. I want to hit two things that I believe are at the heart of this.